All right, so welcome back to the Grow Family Network. We wanted to give you an update on these raised beds that we made with absolutely no tools at all. We've been getting a lot of interest in our video that we did about 2 years ago, and we've also, along with a lot of interest and a lot of views, we've also gotten a lot of questions. And I figured the best way to answer some of the questions, since it's kind of hard sometimes to get to all the comments, the best way to answer all of the questions that we've been getting, because a lot of them have been the same questions, we thought we'd do a video. So this is our bed. When we did that video, it was around, I think it was September 11, 2018, and we actually had this bed installed already. And this was the bed that we actually went to Home Depot and actually bought. And believe it or not, the first year we didn't even use the bed. It was more so like a compost area. But last fall we started planting in it, and we moved our compost area back to the back. So that was a real way for us to get some nutrients in the bed just to start off. Not needed. If we would have had the soil and the money to actually just start planting in the bed, we could have done that. But also we wanted to have a compost area kind of close to the house. After the pests kind of start kicking in, we moved it. So some of the questions that we've been asked is soil. How much soil does it take to fill up a raised bed of this size? These are 8x4 beds, and if you get in, I'll show you. You can see we got asparagus in this bed. We have garlic, chives. We have ginger. But look at the soil depth. These are the 10-inch boards, and you can see, if you look in here, look how much the soil level has went down. When we first started, it probably was about this high, but your soil level will eventually go down. It's going to seep down. It's going to pack down. Someone was asking me, how do you re-energize the soil? Well, what you could do is, after the season is over, you can go ahead on and put your manures, put your fertilizers in, and then you got so much space to actually build up your soil level on top of it. But you can see we've actually used this bed as a ginger. Look at that ginger in there.
That thing smells so good.
Ginger, turmeric, lemon balm, garlic. We got squash that's starting to put on flowers. Look at that. More lemon balm. We have asparagus beans. We're behind on our beans. The reason why we haven't picked them is we're behind on our seeds. So we're trying to, it's kind of like we're pressed for time. Instead of eating a lot of them, we're trying to let as much as we can go to seeds, so we can get some seeds, and probably we'll plant some more for our fall crop. But past our asparagus bed, look at this. Nice rosemary. This has been in here for about 2 years now. One thing I like to do with these beds, because we have these blocks, these called old castle style blocks, and one thing that I like about these blocks is that you can have plants that need a little bit more attention. What we did here with the Sunfinity sunflower, they've already started to go to seed, but plants that are maybe smaller, that you wouldn't have in the area where they would get neglected, and you know you're going to be watering your vegetable bed, you can take those plants and put them on your edges. That way you'll know this one has less soil, so it's going to dry out faster. So that way you'll know as you're watering your bed, it's way easier to water this one. Another thing people was asking me is about the bowing of the boards. If you look in, this is a 8-foot board, and over time I can tell it's moved a little. We didn't put any rebar down the middle, so you can see that it's kind of, if you come right here on the top, you can see that it's kind of moved out. I'm sure I can take a hammer, if it mattered to me, and just knock this back, maul hammer or some kind of stronger hammer, or even a piece of board. Over on this side, you can see we did this one. Like I say, this one was done first, but you can look on this side, and this has not much has moved at all. No rebar down the middle. We just put them in place, put the boards in, Now, I can't tell you how long it takes for these boards to actually give away, but you can see this is the 8-foot board. And people are asking, does the pressure from the soil push the board out? And you can see this board is just as straight as it was the day we got it. And filled with whatever you want to plant. These are some bitter melon. And it's loaded down bitter melon and Malabar spinach. This is what Bells wanted to do with this bed this year. You can see. Gonna have some beautiful vegetables. Same thing with the soil level. Put some, just think of it this way. The things will grow in the ground if you didn't have a raised bed. So if you don't have money to fill a raised bed, buy your soil in bulk. That's the first thing. Find the bulk soil. Nurseries, hardware stores sometimes carry bulk soil. Just Google it. Somebody in your area has bulk soil. That's going to be your cheapest route for filling these up. We do have a video how to fill raised beds cheaply. I've been trying to send that link out. That's something easy you can do. You can put leaves in the bottom half of this and fill the rest of it up with just regular soil if you do have to buy the bag soil. And that way, what we did with a lot of our beds is we fill our beds by the year. So we'll get like a load of bulk soil and we'll fill our beds up as much as we can. We'll just add a little bit every year. So that way it's like $40 to $80 a year on our soil. And that way, over time, the soil kind of goes up and we can amend the soil and put certain things in. So far, we've been, I guess, lucky on this property that most of our stuff is no-till. We don't own a tiller. We don't have a tiller. So that's one of the other reasons for having these raised beds, is because it actually keeps your weeds so much easier to pick. If this was in the ground, you couldn't do this. So you can look over here. These are the worst weeds we have on our property. They're called chamber bitters. But the reason why you don't see much weeds on our property is not because we till or spray herbicides. It's just because some days when you're bored and you're out in the garden, you just say, man, I'm gonna pick those little weeds. And that's what a raised bed, this is like one of the main benefits of having a raised bed, is weeding. Like I said, if this was in that ground, I don't have any growing in the ground. They like this moist area. But if that was in the ground, you couldn't weed this fast. What you can do, if you got chickens or compost area, you can take this. I would say bring it to the chickens more so the compost. But these right here, they have so many seeds on them. I would say just throw them on the ground somewhere that you cut grass all the time, because you never want these to come up. They go to seed so fast. You can see these little small ones. They got seeds on them already. They're really invasive. Supposed to be a herb though. I've done some research on them. Some people use them herbally, but not me. So asparagus is looking good. Look at that asparagus under there. About time for us to start harvesting. It's been about a year and a half since we put these in. So probably for the fall, next spring, we'll start to harvest these. So that's our update on our raised beds with no tools. Also, what you can do, we did here, you go over here, we just took some fence posts, but you can use conduit, you can use any pipe you can find, almost anything. And you kind of saw our last trellis, and this is just a fence panel that we got from our neighbor about 2 years ago, and basically put that in the ground, put some zip ties on it. Now you got a 4x8 bed, but you also got another 6 feet of growing area that you can grow cucumbers on. Like us, you can grow some nice long beans on. You just gotta worry about the pests that are eating our beans at the bottom. But the possibilities are endless with these beds. And you don't need nobody to help you build these beds. You don't need a group of men to help you. If you're a lady, you can actually put this together by yourself. So no tools required, no men required. If you're a man, your wife is gonna love you if you put one of these together for her, because she knows how hard it is to put together raised beds. But when you come home with a bed like this and put it together, not only is it really usable, but it also has the little old castle style look to it that makes it real nice and pretty for the garden. So I think that's it with this video. That's it with this update. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope those of y'all that watched that video and you've been saying you're going home and you're making your beds and you're excited, and we just want you to know that we're excited for you too. As always, share the video, share it to your friends, share the information. If you don't share the video, still share the information, because information is power, information is key. Thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network, and as always, grow, grow, grow. Peace.